Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Menstrual Cycle Mastery podcast. In today's episode, I have a guest with me, which I'm very excited about. So I have Stepahny Abicha. Did I pronounce that correctly, Stephany?
Yeah, correctly,
Thank
Lisa.
you. So Stephany is a graduate from the 2025-2026 cohort at the Menstrual Coach Academy, and she successfully made it through the course and graduated and is now a certified trauma-informed menstrual cycle coach. And yeah, I'm very excited to chat with you today, Stephany, and talk about your work that you're doing and your experience on the program. So thanks for coming on. Before we get into all of that, would you maybe introduce yourself to the audience, where you're based and whatever you'd like to share?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Lisa, for having me. I am Stepahny Abicha, like you said. I'm originally from Cameroon, but I'm living here in Germany. I came from Cameroon to Germany for study, and since then I'm living here in Germany. I work as an IT consultant, but also part-time as menstrual coach, and I'm helping women dealing with endometriosis, adenomyosis, and fibroids to take care of themselves naturally and also reduce their symptoms to be able to manage and also go through their corporate life without that the disease affect them.
That's such a beautiful intro, Stephany. Thank you. And before you started doing menstrual cycle coaching, am I right in saying that you were also an intuitive coach? So you were coaching women already?
Yeah, I did a training with very well-known intuitive coach in the USA. It is Christy Marie Sheldon. I wanted to learn more about myself, but during the training, I was also able to coach some women on the intuition, help them release some of their emotional blockage. That is something that I started, but I wanted to use my skills mostly for menstrual issue and guide women to also release the emotional part or the emotional wound linked to menstrual issues.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So what drew you to the topic of the menstrual cycle in the first place?
Very good question. Oh, I had painful periods since I was 15, if I remember well, 15, 17 years old. And I struggle a lot with that. It was even a fear of mine not to be able to have a normal job because of those painful periods. No one really helped me with those issues. That's the reason why I started to look for a solution on my own. And while looking for that, I met a lot of women who also had the same issue, but they were left alone. So I had that heart of helping. It was almost like a way of advocating for myself and women around me. So I started to share a little bit about what worked for me, what didn't. I even wanted to be a doctor to do research around the disease, but I couldn't achieve that dream. It was always in the back of my head that I should share. If I find a solution, I should share that with other women. That's the reason why as time went by, the desire grew bigger, and I decided why not, since I could actually help,
Mm.
and I was able to manage my symptom and also have a normal life.
Wow, yeah. So you also struggled with debilitating pain.
Yeah,
You had fear of keeping down a job and everything. And it's such a lonely journey, isn't it, Stephany? That journey
yeah,
of chronic pain.
very lonely
Yeah.
and painful. Like when I see a woman who is in pain now, I can feel I can feel the pain that she's going through. So it is really heartbroken to see someone going through so much pain without having someone that is understanding her and helping her or guiding her to find a solution or to live a better life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important, isn't it?
Mm.
To have that support, and so that happened very organically for you. You were speaking to women and getting help and then starting to help other people as well and having connections. And I love that because obviously if you struggle with your cycle, it's important to go to the doctor.
Yeah,
But the kind of the downside to that is it's very medicalized then,
mm,
we don't get that emotional support.
yeah,
And as you know from the course, there's a physical pain is physical, but also it's a physical experience and an emotional
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, like you said, something that really helped me was the support, not only from my mom, but also other women around me. When you don't feel alone anymore with the disease, you almost feel like there's hope, and you also want to do better or to feel better. From my point of view, it's really helped me to find a solution.
Yeah. So you got help from your mom and older women. And did you get diagnosed with anything along the
Mm,
journey?
I was diagnosed, I think, 10 years later
Hmm.
here in Germany that I had endometriosis. It's actually after a lot of exams at the end of woman. It wasn't a gynecologist, but it was the woman that took care of me that time. She was a doctor.
Hmm.
She called me after the result of the exam. She said, "You have endometriosis." And that's the reason why every morning you come to me in pain and cried. And that day I said, okay, then I wasn't really crazy to to fight for that.
So you felt validated when you got that diagnosis from her?
Mm, yeah, but it took a lot of
Oh,
time.
100%. Yeah. I think the average is like 9 to 13 or 14 years to get
Mm,
diagnosed with endo because it's a long, yeah, well, there's lots of reasons for that. But, and did she treat you then?
no, she simply told me that I had it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what,
And
yeah, what did you do then?
when I find out, I was already on my journey. When I actually at 15 years old, my first period wasn't painful. So I knew at 15, my first period was at 11 years old. And at 15, 17, when it started to become painful, I was like, hmm, something is wrong. Or I started to check if I did something bad or if I ate something that wasn't. I reflect on myself if I did something to create that pain. And then over the time, it become worse. I started to change my alimentation. Like I was already a little bit aware of my body. So I did the work very early, but it didn't help a lot. The pain wasn't as painful as when I turned 25, for example. At
Mm.
25, with the amount of work that I was doing, working as a student, also my stress level, it really influenced on the intensity of the pain.
Mm.
So yes, my alimentation was a big factor to reduce the pain, but I also learned later to manage my stress level and to also deal with my emotion. Started to express a little bit more.
Mm.
Started, I started to put boundaries to really take care of myself. It was a long journey, observing myself and starting to taking care of me. This is really what helped me to see resolve and have a normal life, so to say, to be.
Wow, Stephanie, so that you took that very mind body relational approach with yourself, not
Yes.
just medical, like you kind of changed how you related to yourself. And did you notice your pain getting easier with all those changes?
Yeah, with everything that I try a lot of different things. And each time that I try some, it was almost like a research thing for me.
Yeah, you were experimenting on yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And with everything that I tried, I was observing, is it improving or not decrease? Like I knew exactly what is working for me, what is not working. And the first few changes that I did was the tampon. I started to use organic one, and
Hmm.
I started also to drink filtered water, like very clean water. That had a big change in the period. The pain reduced a lot.
Did you get a filter installed in your kitchen?
I bought so
You bought a filter. Yeah,
so,
like a portable filter. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even with the alimentation, when I stopped to drink normal milk, like I turned to more like it is mandel, plant-based milk. I did
Okay,
drink
so you
the
cut
cow
out
milk.
dairy.
Mhm.
Yeah, you cut out dairy. Okay, yeah. So you were trying lots of things and
I try a lot of
yeah.
things. I sleep a little bit longer. Magnesium work very well for me
Mm.
because I was working out very intensely. So taking magnesium help my muscles and also fight the inflammations at the level. I
Mm.
took high quality omega-3s that help to reduce the inflammation and also the pain, constipation issue that I had. So a lot of different slight changes that I did in my lifestyle helped me to see the reduction of the pain over time.
Yeah, and those changes all sound quite gentle. It didn't sound like you had to overhaul your kind of lifestyle in a
No.
week or two. It was kind of a long, gentle road for you.
Mhm.
Um, that's amazing, Stephanie. And so then you found my work at the academy, and
Yeah.
what happened there? Did you just you because it sounds like it was a very personal journey, but it became a passion for you, this topic,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah. So tell us a bit more about that.
When after the intuition training that I did, I already knew that I wanted to use my intuition skills to help women having menstrual issue. And I started to look for program to have kind of structure because everything that I knew about menstrual issue was based on my intuition, my own experience. So I wanted the scientific part of it,
Mhm.
like kind of knowledge from someone who really know what she's talking about. So I came across your website and I read almost everything and I check if intuitively it's really something for me. And I could relate a lot about everything that you shared about your journey also. And particularly the fact that it was trauma informed. And you was talking about somatic work and nervous system regulation. That caught my attention. That's the reason why I decided to join. And the program was a big experience for myself because I learned a lot about my body again. I went a little bit deeper, but it also bring that structure that I feel like I was lacking to be able to really guide those women properly without the flow of intuition. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, that's a really interesting, just the way you went about it. I think it's really important, and I can relate to you. A lot of my own healing journey came from intuition too, and it still does. If something catches my attention and I feel called to try it, I will do that. um so it's hard to turn that off when you start living like that.
Mm,
But that's amazing. So you joined the program, you were looking for guidance, structure, leadership. um
exactly.
yeah. And I remember there was a moment when we were, so the program, for those people who are unaware, you probably are aware because I keep talking about it all the time. The Menstrual Coach Academy, it's a 6-month professional training for people who want to become a menstrual cycle coach, or if you want to integrate that into your existing work. And there's also people there who are there for personal reasons, because you do a lot of, inner healing. I remember Stephanie's experience. One of the things you brought to the group was, really interesting, was this topic around fear. And when we're in our premenstrual phase, how sometimes if you have a history of a lot of pain, like you and I both do, and then you have a lot of healing, but the fear and the anticipation of pain can really come up. So I'd love to hear a bit more about that. If you
Interesting.
remember, do you remember that
I
call?
remember, I
Yeah.
remember. I remember very well because it was a topic that I really live it. Like I caught myself one day in the kitchen, few days before I have my period, and I was already simulating the pain. And since I did so much work on myself, I knew that I was simulating it. And I also knew that if I continue like that, I'm going to create the pain, even if I'm not actually in pain. So I started to regulate myself and talk to myself to calm down. Stephany, you're not bleeding now. So let your body do its work. I felt like my vagina was, the tension was going from out of it. Like I was sorting myself to really let my body do what it's supposed to do without creating anything that is not physically creating. And at that moment, I think it was the first day that I was able to bleed without pain. And it was very difficult because few days before my bleeding in the luteal phase, I find myself, I knew what I have to do to not be in pain during my menstruation. And when I had that fear that when I'm not, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, then I will be in pain. And that fear was almost like it was haunting me. And I think it is, like you said, it is based on our experience, those years of pain, almost like the body store the memory of being constantly in pain and it doesn't want to, it is kind of trauma, how we say this. He doesn't want to let go of it. It's, I have to reprogram myself or to re-educate myself of accepting my period without creating the pain through that fear. And during the program, it was really good that I spoke about it because I could reflect getting the feedback of other ladies that I was actually hard on myself to to absolutely want to do exactly what I'm supposed to do for not being paid. But it was a trauma response, I think. Now I don't really care about it anymore. After that day that we talk about it, I was able to let go and say, simply leave. What is going to happen is going to happen. Yeah. Now I'm fine. I don't really think anymore. I don't think about that pain anymore.
That's amazing. I just get goosebumps listening to you, Stephany. Thank you for sharing that story. When you say the 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 thing about the things you're supposed to do you mean all the list of self-care?
Mm.
Is that what you're talking about? Like all the things you're supposed to do, so in order to control, to not have pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Over the time, I already knew what is working and what is not working. The luteal phase before my bleeding is come with a lot of intensity. And if I let myself go with that intensity, I will overwork myself and then my stress level will be very high. So that during the menstruation, I think something happened, it creates more pain. That is what I find out about myself. So I had to absolutely regulate myself before the bleeding. And if I don't find time to regulate myself, then I will be in pain.
I hear you, yeah. And to not be so hard on ourselves if we don't
Mm.
do all the things we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's such a powerful description of like how you move. It's like waves, with when the
Mm.
luteal phase comes around, there's a call inwards, isn't there?
Mm.
And a call to reconnect to ourselves. And when we're disconnected from ourselves, we'll connect kind of like we're kind of not in our bodies.
Mm.
That's when you get all that like stressful,
Yeah.
yucky, sticky energy, right? Yeah. Whereas it sounds like you figured out how to ride that wave of coming back into yourself in the luteal when there's that like energy coming back in
Mm.
and regulate your fear. Oh, it's that was such a huge game changer for me as well, Stephany, when I realized I was living in so much fear and control and hypervigilance, even
Mm.
with all this knowledge.
Ah.
Like,
Almost the knowledge make us go being more in control.
exactly. It makes us be more in control. And then we then hold on tighter,
Mm.
and
Mm.
it's
Mm.
not helpful.
Yeah.
So learning, it's mindfulness. This is skills based work. I call it the menstrual cycle mastery skills is what I am now calling it because it's an internal skill set and it's not as simple as doing a meditation. You have to do it while you're cooking or while you're driving or, while you're going about your day, catching that fear and taking a breath and saying like, I'm okay in this moment or whatever it is that you have to do. It's not making the fear go away, is it, Stephany? It's being present with the fear and just kind of
Yeah.
letting it be there.
That is what I also teach to my clients. It was interesting that because I was able to really practice everything during the program, I could relate to them when they come to me with such fear. A lot of them come with fears, fear of what's happened if it get worse? What happened if I'm not able to be a mom? What happened if later I have another disease or but it's simply a fear like teach them to really come back in their body first connect to your body back and then reflect on the fear and see the fear for what it is. And the fear will come back. But if you have the skill to manage it, then you will be okay.
100%. Yeah. And the thing is, if we're just living in fear all the time, then we're
Mm,
missing our lovely day and our life
yeah.
and our the like you said, you're not in pain now, so why am I freaking out and not enjoying the benefits of
Yeah.
not being in pain? And this is the thing, when you do the healing work that you and I did, pain doesn't go away overnight. It's a
Mm,
small bits at a time. It's progress. So for me, I had period pain a few weeks ago, but it was only for a few hours.
mm,
You know, it wasn't for 3 days. And I said to my
yeah.
husband, that's progress. You
Yeah.
know, that's good. But initially my thinking was, oh no, it's coming back and disaster, and I'm gonna have to go and get another surgery, you know, all the fear and yeah.
I understand you. I understand.
Oh, it's just the brain. It's our way of protecting ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woman body, a woman mind.
I know, I know. But underneath the control is actually vulnerability
Mm,
and learning how to be present with our vulnerability and the
yeah.
uncertainty, right? Yeah.
Actually, this way, the uncertainty, what's going to happen or happen, simply be at peace with that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's really that.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We can't control it all, unfortunately, as much as we like to convince ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were doing amazing inner work on the program, Stephany. Tell us a little bit more about any other experiences you'd like to share about on the program or your experience of coaching as well, or learning coaching.
Mhm. Something interesting that I learned about during the program was the void that phase shortly before our first bleeding, what is happening, because I was observing that on me, but I didn't know if it was normal, what is happening, or what is really is. And even now, I still feel or connect with that part of me when it is opening shortly before I bleed. But I have more compassion with myself. I can be really negative in that, like for a few hours, I can behave like really negative. I'm not a negative person. I don't complain or, but for a few hours, when I find myself being so negative, I say, okay, I will bleed in a few hours then.
You will what? What did you say there?
I'm going to bleed in a few hours.
Ah, yeah, you
Okay.
know it's coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming. And few of my clients, for them, it is more intense than that. It's almost like, I will not say if it is really, but from my point of view, it is a void. It's almost the energy that is coming with it. It is so intense that if she's not regulated, it can shake on her totally. Like the intensity of the first bleeding before the first bleeding comes, it is I will even say too intense. And yeah, it was interesting to know about it because I could guide myself and also guide her
Beautiful.
much better.
Yeah, beautiful. You made us, you created safety around the experience
Yeah,
and gave her the language to understand, oh, this
it
is a
is
thing.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to credit Alexandra Pope for Red School, for I know there's a lot of Red School fans listening to the podcast, for her language and her I suppose conceptualizing of that experience that so many women
Mm.
have. So for those of you who are not familiar with that term, it's called the void, and it could be a few days or a few hours or a few minutes um before bleeding starts. And it's where, well, I'd love to hear about your description, but it's kind of where you feel psychically, psychologically, emotionally, physically very vulnerable. For me, I get it. It's like I have this internal shaky kind of feeling. And I might suddenly out of nowhere just feel like, oh, I just need to go lie down in a dark room, or I could be really, if there's a lot of people or noise around me, I could get really irritated by that, like a heightened sensitivity,
Mhm.
and I struggle to find my words or write something. Like
Wow,
like the kind
interesting.
of thinking, executive functioning isn't really very online.
It's
And
almost, yeah.
oh, sorry, I was going to say I can go into panic very easily.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. Because my client, she was also a little bit similar, like what you described. And I was like, wow. Oh, fortunately, I am intuitive. I told her you're going to bleed in a few hours.
Oh, did she show up to the session feeling like that?
No, she wrote me. She wrote me on WhatsApp. She said, Stephany, are you feeling like... I said, okay. My intuition told me she's going to bleed in a few hours. I said, okay, calm down. I started to relax.
Yeah.
And then a few hours, she started to bleed.
Oh, and then it comes down then, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that sensitivity that I described, that's what it feels like when you're not aware of it. Do you know, or
Mhm.
when you're not practicing menstrual cycle awareness. But if you have MCA practice,
Yeah.
there you're able to take care of yourself better and panic less.
Yeah. And then because you know that it's
Yeah,
actually...
yeah. You're like usually I'm like, oh shit, I better go and sit down and take a
Mhm.
minute. And I look after you look after yourself if you're able to, you know.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, or you can just, if you're busy, you can just take a minute to just be like, you know, just no pressure to perform, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So you found that very helpful, the void.
Yeah, it was really helpful for myself and also for that lady because for her it was really intense and she was struggling with that for so many years and she was also hard on herself.
Yeah.
Almost like she didn't understand why it is happening like that and why she's like that. I told her it is normal. It is part of who you are. You have simply to acknowledge it as your particularity and learn from it. So that next time what is happening, you simply let yourself be and
Mhm.
manage it better.
Beautiful. That's so compassionate and very clear for her, like what to do, you know.
Mm.
It is actually uh the void, so that time prior to bleeding, women are more at risk in terms of our mental health during that
Mm.
time, you know. So it's something to name in the mental health world.
Wow.
And yeah, like it could, we, you know, we can have, maybe we can be more prone to anxiety or suicidal thoughts or darkness or like a lot of fear. And it can feel like you're overcome by a darkness.
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
It can, like the way you are, if you're listening to this and you're relating, it's because you are probably highly sensitive and intuitive.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
a kind of a psychic opening, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about energy work, you can do other things as well. Like you can you can clear your energy, say prayers, ask for protection, you know, do some saging or whatever it is that that works for you. Or if you're kind of like, yeah, if you're on a train or a busy, and if you're in a busy place, you can, I like this energy exercise that I do where I breathe in, and when I breathe in, I visualize like a shield around me, you know, and I
Mm.
breathe out, and then it's like my breathing in at the front is the front of my body, and then breathing out is the shield goes down the back of my body, and then you have like an egg around you,
Mhm.
and you can visualize what material you want. So
Wow,
maybe, yeah,
beautiful.
someday you have cotton wool, and so other days you have steel, or both.
Hey, you use your creativity there.
Exactly. You're just using your imagination, but I think imagination is very powerful when it comes
Yeah.
to energy work, you know. So cool. And anything else you'd like to share about the program, Stephany?
Yeah, something else that I wanted to. I felt like during the program, I got every week, exactly every week, every month, because we had the lecture and then we had our group coaching. And every week, I always got what I needed for that week or what I was thinking about. So it almost felt like it was a gift for me and answer to all of my questions during the whole program. So thank you for that.
Very intuitive. We're obviously very connected, Stephany.
Yeah, I felt that really during the program.
Wow.
And another point that was game changing for my clients was the monarchy. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
You are?
It was going back to the first time or the first few months of the bleeding of the client. And I use that for all of my clients that I work with. We always find out a trigger point or emotional connection to the disease so that we were able to come back to the present moment and work on something that was triggering her or making her not allowing herself to release and like taking care of herself from out of love and not because of pushing hard or because she wants to fix herself.
Mm.
And it was really interesting. It was, I think, the best exercise that I took and added in my coaching program.
Amazing. Yeah, we did a big piece on that, didn't we? The
Mm.
menarche. The menarche is around the first period for a young girl, and
Yeah,
our experience of that as adults can leave an imprint, or when we're young, it can leave an imprint. It can still like impact us actually psychologically and
yeah.
emotionally when we're adults, and there's things you can do to heal that. And yeah, like from observing you as well, Stephany, because we did, like you say, there's lecture days and then we have the process groups where we're practicing the coaching, and you did such an amazing job of bringing in your own authentic voice in the coaching. And
Thank
that's like, it's not, I know you said there was structure in the course, but there's also, everyone has their own flavor, their own style, their own personality, and figuring out who is the coach inside of you is
you.
really the journey, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
finding my own way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't remember who you coached, but I think it was Kelsey.
Yeah, it was Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey, yeah, and it really had a very positive impact on her. I was talking to her after the program, and
Ah,
she's doing really great, and she's gone on to get extra support for her journey. And I remember her saying she felt very validated and believed, and she had never had an experience like that before, actually, ever before.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm happy
So,
for her.
yeah. Hi, Kelsey, if you're listening. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Stephany, tell us then a bit about, so you've graduated from the program, then what happened? You started to work on your practice, work on your business, started your Instagram. Tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about that journey.
So before the program already started building my website and all of this technical stuff, but I didn't did any marketing. Uh, and after the program, I got more clarity about the way I wanted to work, and I started to build my Instagram. Do some posts, how I want to express the disease, what I want to talk about around the disease, and yeah, reach out to women. I actually reach out to women on Instagram if they are looking for help. And during the conversation, the one that were open to get on a call with me, I got on a call with them and present the program the way I work and ask them if they want to work with me. Few agree. It's actually how I got my first client. She was looking for help, and when I present her my program, she said, "Yeah, she want to work with me." She's also intuitive. She felt kind of connection. I say, "Okay, let's work together." And she came to me mostly because of the emotional root cause of the disease. She wanted to be able to set boundaries, take care of herself, and express everything that she was storing in her. I use mostly my intuition and everything that I learned during the program when it comes to letting the client express herself, holding space for her, letting her regulate herself by speaking without going too deep, like with curiosity and also compassion. And she happily agreed about everything. She really started to open up, and she saw so good changes that she accepted to work for 4 months with me.
Wow,
Well,
congratulations to
thank
both
you.
of you. That's so amazing.
Yeah, I am really proud of everything that she achieved. She's glowing. Like the change, I can see that on her face. She's becoming more and more beautiful. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, that's so exciting for me because my vision for the academy was to create like systemic change, as in support you
Ah,
to help other women, and have that ripple effect.
wow.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that story with me. That's so exciting. And that she obviously felt very safe with you and very connected, and
Yeah.
yeah, and you're working with your intuition, so that's something I do too. I don't talk about it very much actually, but you talk about it. So it's
Mhm.
inspiring for me to hear because I'm like, yeah, I always work with my intuition as well. And it's helpful. I don't maybe I don't always use that language, or I might use the term psychodynamic, which is more of a psychological term, but it's very intuitive, like what you're picking up, what you're
Yeah.
sensing, what you're feeling. And you find that I think what you're doing is really smart, Stephany, because the menstrual cycle isn't just about supplements and
No.
vitamins or surgeries and medicines. Like it's a very intuitive thing. It's an
Yeah.
energetic thing. Not that we don't need those other things,
Yeah,
but
sure.
we really do need that intuitive piece and supporting women to connect to their cycle and their energies and their intuition. Yeah.
I think I felt also almost like that is what it is my theory. What it's also what my intuition is telling me. Women who has menstrual issue is almost like they are too intuitive, like highly intuitive, and it is creating kind of the pain is blocking them to get the download that they are supposed to get. And when I started to reduce the pain, everything that I'm getting during before my bleeding, also during my bleeding, it is poor. I was able to write my first book, my first poetry book. I wrote, my intuition was telling me for many years that I have to write, I have to write. I was blocking it. I don't have time to write. And one day they told me, you can write poetry. You are very good at writing poetry. You don't need to write a self-development book or write a poetry book. I said, okay. One morning I woke up, I saw it always happened during my bleeding. It is kind of crazy. I have those ideas during my bleeding. I woke up and I saw the window through my bedroom and the curtain. It was very beautiful. I saw the tree through the window. In that moment, I felt like the happiest woman on the world. I was so happy. And I catch that moment with the picture and then I started to write a poem. I got the intuition, the download to write a book based on that poem. I can explain it as much as I want. And I simply started to write. I had the draft of it. The interesting thing that happened is that when I was copying the poem from the draft from Google Doc into Canva, on the second page, I felt butterfly, like from my stomach, that feeling that you are butterfly that you feel when you are in love with someone. I stay with that feeling for 5 minutes. Like I never felt butterfly outside of the feeling love. And that was the first time in many years that I felt butterfly. And it was liberating for me to be able to feel something like that. They say you are still a woman and you still have your gift and you can express them. And that happened because I let the download come to me during my period.
Mm.
It is, I don't know why I'm telling that, but it's almost like the story, the download that the woman is able to get when she's bleeding, and that the clothing or the distraction of the pain is not hindering her to get that download. It is, we cannot put price on that. Not amount of money could have helped me feel that butterfly that I felt when I was writing the, the book.
Oh, Stephany, that's so gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's so inspiring. And I just have so many questions. It's so like I loved what you said about people who have pain are your perspective is that they're highly intuitive.
Yeah.
I was like, that's me. And all of the women and people with menstrual cycles listening to this conversation, and so okay, here's a question. What advice would you give, or tips, or insight, or wisdom even, would you give to anyone, to any of us who would like to learn how to hear our intuition more clearly, especially if we're in pain? Because we're in pain. If we're in pain, it's very hard to listen to our intuition.
Mhm.
I just want to watch Netflix and numb out when I'm in pain.
I got you. Even me, before I was watching Netflix a lot, but now I am getting so much download that they are more interesting than watching this.
Ah, wow, I love that. Love that. Mm,
What I started if I remember correctly, before I got trained as an intuitive coach, what I did was talking to the pain
mm,
and simply stay with the pain. I used to put my hands on my lower stomach because it was the part where I was mostly feeling the pain. And I was saying sorry to myself that I am forgiving you for not taking care of you well enough, for not knowing exactly what to do. And I was asking also to my womb what she needed from me.
mm,
What can I do for you? And I was simply talking to my body with a lot of compassion, like I am here for you, I want to heal, I want to help you. I also know that the pain is it's not the bleeding that is creating the pain. It is the body that is almost trying to remove the toxin from our body, but in kind of violent way that is creating pain.
mm.
The body is not against us. It's trying its best to help us.
Yeah.
So I knew that, and I started to not be angry at myself, but try to understand what is happening. How can I help? And I know it is really painful, but the few hours that it let me alone without the pain, I give myself more love.
Mm,
And I knew also that there are a lot of things that I want to do when I'm not in pain. So what can I do in that few hours or in that moment that he's giving me? And I use that change. I sleep a lot. Now I don't think about Netflix. I sleep.
you sleep. Yeah, me too.
Better to sleep than watching Netflix.
Yeah, 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 100%. Yeah, yeah. Like if you're not in pain and you're able to sleep, then you need
Yeah,
to it's a time for nourishing ourselves and
yeah,
self-care. Yeah.
exactly.
I see people like talk about their periods and they say, "Oh, I'm so tired on during my period," like as though it's a problem. And I'm like, it's kind of normal to feel
Mm,
like tired around that time or vulnerable, it's
yeah.
normal. Um, so one last question, because I could
Yeah.
talk to you for hours and we'll just have to have you back, Stephany. What are you learning through your coaching journey?
Wow, interesting question.
Or what are you noticing? Either of those.
I will answer both.
Yeah.
What I am noticing is that I am also growing with my client. Everything that I know about menstrual issue, like I said, it was based on my experience. I got also a lot of knowledge during the program, but I'm learning a lot with your own experience or what they went through and your feedback also, because I simply guide them and I let them find your own answer. And sometimes your answer, they are, wow, eye-opening. So I am observing myself during the coaching, how I am growing with them. And the other question was what I'm experiencing, or I forgot
Well,
the other.
I think you answered it because I said, what are you learning and what are you noticing?
Ah,
But
okay.
they're kind of the same. Yeah.
I am learning also marketing.
Well, that's part of your growth journey and,
Yeah.
standing out and
Something that I always remember, thanks to the program that I did, is not to be pushy with them. I want to let them take the decision from a regulated states,
yeah.
like they pay the coaching because they really want, not because I use a marketing strategy to make them buy. Because at the end of the day, we are going to do the coaching together, and I want them to feel safe also from the beginning, even during the sales process until we finish the coaching.
Yeah, you want that there to be alignment
Yeah,
like a kind of a connected integrity between your marketing and your what you're selling, right? So
exactly.
yeah, it's what you're selling is very vulnerable, sensitive, trauma
Yeah,
informed work, so it makes sense to have a very gentle marketing approach. Yeah.
yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share, Stephany, before we go?
Uh, Something else. I will. It is a small short, a short. I don't know the real word in English, but I want to thank Phoebe. She inspired me for the song that I shared with you during the celebration that we did last December. Yeah. It is the song that I created based on the first week of the program and what she shared about the vision of the work, how she want to work with ladies, and everything that other participants also shared. That inspired me to write that song. And that is one of my best song until now.
Oh, Stephany, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, that's so nice. And Phoebe was one of our other, she's our
Yeah,
classmate in the program. Oh, that's so nice to hear. I'll have to, I think you sent me a link, didn't you, to the song? Do you
yeah,
still have it?
to
So maybe
the,
we can I can link it in the show notes and people can listen to it if they'd like to.
yeah, sure. I can even share the Spotify.
Yeah, send me the Spotify link because then
Mhm.
that'll be easier. Yeah, I'd love to share that.
I will do.
And do you have your poetry online as well, Stephany?
Oh, my poetry, it is in French.
Oh, it's in French. Well, we have French listeners.
Yeah, I publish it on Amazon already. Yeah.
Okay, send me the link to that, and we'll make sure we have everything there so people can check you out, and then we'll share your Instagram as well, where people can find you if they're interested in working with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Stephany, for sharing your personal history, your journey on the program, and now the amazing work you're doing with women. And I loved the last thing you shared about that as a coach, you're continuing to learn and grow and develop. And I 100% agree. And it's just so healthy to do that. You know, we're
Yeah.
always learning with our clients. And yeah, so I'll make sure to link all of Stephany's links. And then if anyone is interested in joining the next round of the Menstrual Coach Academy, we are starting in early 2027. And if you're listening to this after that time, you can just head on over to the website in the show notes to join the waiting list, or you can join us in the Menstrual Mastery Collective to practice the menstrual cycle mastery skills together. Thank you so much, Stephany, for
Thank you,
this
Lisa,
lovely
for having
conversation.
me.
Yeah, it's so fun to chat with you. And
Yeah.
do go and check out all her Instagram and her website and everything, and connect with her there. Take good care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining me on the Menstrual Cycle Mastery podcast. If you'd like to begin this work with me, I run the Menstrual Mastery Collective, a monthly membership where you can dive deep into this work live alongside me and a supportive community. I'm also the founder of the Menstrual Coach Academy, a professional training space for trauma-informed coaching and facilitation. Head on over to the links in the bio to sign up for courses, programs, and grab any resources available. I'm so glad you're here.